There are food insecurity issues that probably aren't exactly what people think of when they think of food insecurities. They have perhaps access to foods, but not access to quality foods, and or they've got the means to get that food through, food stamp programs, vouchers, whatever. But again, transportation. So they end up using those dollars at the convenience store as opposed to going to a higher quality grocery store to get that food. That has downstream effects and health and many other things. And then our neighborhood in and of itself is consumed with, I hate to classify it as, but predatory business practices. Your gas stations become the food source, and so they all go into the program to accept the food stamps. And again, you got the food issue there. You've got check cashing stores and payday loans on several corners, the pawn shops, the
Buy here,
liquor
pay here.
stores, the buy here, pay here. All of these, it's expensive to be poor. I mean, it is. And without that future orientation that keeps popping up, you go and you sign for this vehicle on payments because you think you can hit that payment. But then a guy like me comes behind and looks at your sale contracts and realize that you're paying $15,000 for a car that the dealership probably has $1,500 in. And it's not going to last them the term of the loan. And so they get behind on that, and they make sacrifices in other property that maybe is worth the money to then keep their. It's a broken system, and it at every point takes advantage of their situation. And many of our neighbors just go from crisis to crisis. That's how they live their life.
They're living in their amygdala,
Yeah.
that fight or flight mechanism that God created for a purpose, but not for us to stay there. It takes away your ability to think logically. And so why does Adam get called to all of a sudden someone pulled a gun and they're like, what are you mad about? Well, he looked at me. What do you mean? I think it's we have to train people how to think differently. That's a collective issue. I think mental health is one of those issues that we see symptoms, but there are causes, not the symptoms. I think that what's happening is Adam and Shane are sort of the tip of the spear that allows folks who don't know how to advocate or navigate be able to get the services they critically need.
What lens we are looking through in public safety is we're seeing the end result or the crisis that comes from all of these things he just mentioned, all of the stresses of life, all of the many crises converging together. And so when we get dispatched to that disturbance run and we show up and we're struggling to understand why these two parties are so upset with each other and why it's now turning violent, when we're afforded the opportunity to kind of break that apart, slow it down, ask a few questions, you pretty quickly get to the root of things.